Woke welfare collectors are being thrown off the Titanic known as NBC News. Headline at Fox News: NBC layoffs begin ahead of MSNBC split. What's interesting about these layoffs is who NBC has chosen to be unemployed. There is a reason I refer to most of the mainstream media as woke welfare collectors. That is literally what they do. They collect welfare while contributing absolutely nothing. This week, NBC fired around 8% of their workforce. Unfortunately, Sean Squires, but my name is Seth Meyer.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Like I was saying, unfortunately, Sean Squires was not a part of these layoffs. Somehow, Sean survived to collect welfare another day. The vast majority of people affected by these layoffs, they were working in departments that NBC classified as diversity verticals. I'm sure most of you guys are asking the same thing I did. What the hell is a diversity vertical? Apparently, NBC had a cultural subsection on their website that no one was visiting. Like I tell you guys all the time, the business of the media has one primary purpose: make money. How do they make money? By creating content that's compelling enough to get people to visit their dumps of websites. Listen to some of these divisions of NBC News. NBC BLK, which was the division dedicated to providing stories, issues, opinions from the African American perspective. Why don't you provide stories and opinions from an American perspective? Why is the media so hell-bent on segregating us into categories? NBC also had subsections dedicated to Latinos, or as the media prefers to call them, victims of the ICE Gestapo. The other two divisions impacted were NBC Asian and NBC Out, which is an appropriate name because they are now out of business. According to the site, NBC Out features unique content for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, two-spirit, ++ community. Is it any wonder? Is it any wonder why they are no longer in business? No disrespect to my theys and thems, but I would imagine that it's hard to generate traffic to a website when you're creating content that appeals to a microscopic portion of the overall population. And I believe that is one of the main reasons that MSNBC is struggling. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. It has been a very busy 9 months for the Trumper. As soon as he walked into the White House, Don immediately solved the problem on the southern border. He brought the hostages home in the Middle East. He brokered a supposed peace deal between Israel and Hamas, which was brilliant when you think about it. Step 1 of the peace deal was the release of all the hostages. Step 2 was the disarming of Hamas, which Trump knew was never going to happen. However, from a publicity standpoint, what this did, it took all the heat off of Israel and put it where it belongs, on Hamas. Now, they are the ones brutalizing the Palestinians. So when Israel goes back and decimates them, it won't be called a genocide. It will be called an ass-kicking. The Trumper has accomplished a lot in his first 9-10 months. But the one accomplishment that often gets overlooked Don Trump completely dismantling woke United Methodist. And as a result, it means the Trumper has damn near dismantled the Democratic Party. The Democrats are on life support. Have you noticed that you don't hear much about Tran Dan anymore? Have you noticed that the parade schedule for the Gay Pride Parade is pretty much empty? Thanks to the Trumper and Elon Musk, who doesn't get enough credit for buying Twitter, this is not hyperbole. Elon Musk changed the country when he bought Twitter. He eliminated restrictions on free speech, which caused all the other big tech companies to do the same. It also provided a platform for real media, real journalists like Libs of TikTok, which has exposed the Democrats for who they really are. You have they and them dressed up like Teletubbies protesting outside of ICE in Chicago. Some doofus was dressed as Kermit the Frog while protesting in Portland. Uncle KC, was anyone dressed as Popeye? No, but I did see some dude pretending to be Olive Oil. The point is, these people are insane. You have unemployed grown men in the streets dressing up like cartoon characters. These people live in a world of make-believe, and normal people do not want to be associated with it. If the Democrats were smart, they would get behind guys like Josh Shapiro, John Fetterman. I used to call John Fetterman Uncle Fester. This dude was the younger version of our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden. But credit where credit is due. John Fetterman is a common sense thinker. I might not agree with everything he says, but at least I don't have to worry about John Fetterman dressing up like Dracula. Instead of getting behind normal people, the Democrats would rather support AOC LGBT, Omar Elon and her husband, who some claim is her brother, or Zorro Mamdani, who is well on his way to destroying what used to be the greatest city in the world. Nancy Pelosi, Charles Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, they are so terrified of the radicals in their base, they have allowed their own party to be destroyed. Normal people want absolutely nothing to do with the Democratic Party. And I think that is the main reason MSNBC is struggling. 2 years ago, MSNBC was averaging 1.2 million viewers in prime time. The reason I reference ratings from 2023 is because Rachel Maddow reduced her schedule to one night a week in May of 2022. But even with her schedule reduced while her massively inflated salary remained the same, MSNBC was able to grow their primetime audience by 2% in 2023. Today, they are desperately trying to scoop their ratings out of the pooper. Last week, MSNBC averaged 814,000 viewers in prime time with an abysmal 78,000 in the 25 to 54 demo, down 10% compared to the week before and down 34% compared to last year. Good news is, MSNBC is finally beating CNN in the key demo. Of course, that's nothing to be proud of since CNN is so constipated they can't drop turds to attract flies. And even if they were dropping turds, no one would know because no one is watching this dump of a network. What's that old saying? If a turd drops in the wilderness of CNN and no one is there to smell it, does it have a smell? Ratings have gotten so bad at MSNBC, they are no longer in the top 10 on cable in the key demo. Let me show you why. There was a poll released this week showing the Trumper with an approval rating around 46%. Now, the poll includes both normal people and wanker spankers, so 46%, really good number. At this point in his second term, Don's approval rating is higher than both Barry the Obama and our good friend Georgie Bush. W. Well, Casey, what about John Biden? Thankfully, the good Lord had mercy on us here in America, even though we do not deserve his mercy, and he spared us 4 more years of destruction with Johnny B. But the point is, basically half the country approves of what Donald Trump is doing. If I had to guess, the number is probably significantly higher. But even with half the country approving of him, it gives you a good idea of the direction that the country wants to be going in. What is MSNBC doing to make their polished turds more appealing? What is MSNBC doing to appeal to normal people? Watch for yourself.
ICE is looking more and more like an American Gestapo.
But it has created this year, as they've seen, the kind of fascist ICE Gestapo militias go round up Latino American citizens in places like LA.
ICE agents, masked ICE Gestapo agents, getting more funding than any other law enforcement agency in the history of the United States.
ICE running Gestapo-like around our country.
The Gestapo had the same function. It was there to draw a distinction between us and them. It was not federally, it was controlled by the leader. And we're seeing disturbing similarities between this force and the Gestapo.
We've got these masked thug cowards kidnapping innocent people and sending them off to be slaves or tortured in other countries.
Right now, MSNBC is on the same path of failure as CNN. 5 years ago, CNN had its best year in the history of the network. They averaged 1.8 million in prime time. 2 years later, it was down to 738,000. Last week, 459,000. MSNBC is on the same trajectory. Like CNN, MSNBC continues presenting perspectives that America has clearly rejected. Normally, when a Republican is in office, ratings at CNN, MSNBC, they tend to increase. During the Trumpers' first term, both networks were thriving, but now it is the exact opposite. And the reason they're struggling is because they are splitting an audience that is rapidly dwindling. Woke is dead. It's over. CNN has never been able to recover. Their ratings went from almost nothing to nothing, and they've never come back from it. I think we are seeing the same thing happen to MSNBC. There is a reason NBC dumped the network. NBC's not in the business of dumping networks that are profitable. I think they saw the Titanic sinking and NBC jumped off the ship. 2 years from now, I think we could see MSNBC averaging less than 500,000 viewers in prime time. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.